It is Sunday, and the portal is still aglow for just over 13 hours. I have finally figured out my shard pulling strategy here on my main account. One of the biggest factors is the as of yet unannounced event that we're all expecting for a Lord Fabian soul. So I'm going to talk you through that process just a little bit in case my thoughts can help you figure out your strategy. And then, of course, we're going to get to some shard pulls. I am Colred. This is Colred Plays Raid Shadow Legends. Let's get started. Start by taking a look at the Plarian Play event calendar. As you can see, today is Sunday the 23rd, and here we have Raid's 6th anniversary event. Now, I fully expect Lord Fabian as the anniversary fusion to complete all of his events within the window of the anniversary event. Now, that doesn't have to happen. It is entirely possible that they could decide to do a Titan event that just bleeds over, that goes past the anniversary event, but I think that's unlikely. So as we can see here, the Raid anniversary event ends on really the 1st or the 2nd of April. So it's going to end relatively quickly. The fusion here ends on the 26th. So we have the 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st, 1st, and 2nd. So that's exactly 1 week, really probably 6 days after the fusion event to fit another event in there for the Lord Fabian soul. Now, a Titan event is typically 2 weeks. It could be another Deck of Fate. It could be a Hero's Path. I'm expecting a Hero's Path. I'm expecting a pretty robust Hero's Path, I think. It's still an anniversary event, so it's probably going to be a little bit more intense than a non-anniversary Hero's Path. And as a result, I fully expect there to be a shard pulling element to that. Now, it would make sense for the shard pulling element to happen over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right? Because we're going to have a progressive event that weekend. We have a 2x event this weekend, so next weekend will be a progressive event. And I think that we have a champion chase going on right now, so it's likely to be a summon rush. So we're going to have a summon rush, a progressive event, and I think a Hero's Path. I think that's what's going to happen. But again, we're not entirely sure. We'll probably get some information in the next couple of days. But this is what I'm thinking, and so as I'm planning what shards I'm going to pull for this current champion chase, this is what I'm trying to keep in mind. So let's go back to the game, and I'll talk you through sort of what I've done here on my main account. Here are my shard totals. You can see I have a healthy shard pool, especially those ancient shards have been really building up. Now, 2 weeks ago, we had the 2x primal, and then this weekend, we had 2x everything. But the primal weekend, I believe, should have been ancient shards based on the rotation that was going on. So we skipped ancient shards. And then this weekend should have been void shards. So we're skipping void shards and we're getting everything instead. Now, we could just pull everything. That's always good value. 2x shard events is never a bad time to pull shards. But if we're planning for this soul, we want to think about, we're probably going to have to invest shards to get this soul. Now, my Sacred Shard pool is decently healthy here at 16 on my, this is my free-to-play main account, my endgame account. So I'm likely to pick up another couple of shards over the next week or so. So let's say I'd end up somewhere between 17 and 19 shards for next week's event. That feels like enough to get the job done. Chances are a 5-star soul might be worth as many as 20 Sacred Shards, but for a Hero's Path, there's always a second way to get points too. So let's say we invest somewhere around 10 or 11 Sacred Shards, just like we would for a fusion event, and that would be enough. That would leave me with 7 or 8, maybe 9 shards at the end of it. That's not a ton, but that keeps me safe for next month's fusion. Now, I can always pull ancient shards as well. Ancient shards aren't worth as many points during these events. Really, the best time to pull ancient shards is during a champion chase, especially during a 2x event like we have going on right now. But I have some considerations with this account that I want to walk you through in just a moment. However, void shards I always pull during 2x events, just like I did on my free-to-play challenge account. So I'm going to probably pull all 40 of these void shards today, and this would have been the weekend for void shards anyway. So I have about the same number as I would during a void shard weekend. Now, what's going to be interesting is how these 2x events happen moving forward. Are we going to go back to the current rotation where we have ancient shards, then voids, then sacreds? Are they going to go back to the traditional format of going Ancients, then Sacreds, then Voids, right? Because they've mixed up the order in recent months. Or are they going to do something else? Are they going to go directly to what would have been, the next in line, which would be, I believe, Sacreds in 2 weeks? They could do that, right? So we don't really know what's going to happen with these 2 times events moving forward. It's going to be interesting to see that. And I really don't worry too much about it on my main account, but you may have to consider that on whatever, account you're running, depending on where you are in terms of your account progress. But like I said, I think Void Shards, like if they go back and we have Void Shards in 4 weeks, that's going to be fine. I don't mind. I'm going to pull my Void Shards today. But here's something that you should know about my account. Now, currently, I'm going for the Lord Fabian Fusion. I have all 4 copies of my epic ready to go. This is because during the last shard event, the Summon Rush, I went and got the epic because I knew I was going to be on holiday and I didn't want to potentially fail this excellent fusion. So I made sure to give myself some leeway. Now, I actually have enough in the tank to potentially get an extra copy of this epic, but I don't really care about the epic that much. However, the rare is pretty good. The rare is pretty good, so I'll probably pick up an extra copy of the rare, or maybe 2. Who knows? But I'm okay here for the fusion, so I don't actually have to do this Champion Chase tournament. Now, this Champion Chase tournament has 15 more hours on it. You can see there's a copy there. However, there are 2 legendary tomes. There's a 5-star chicken. There's even, I think that's an Eternal Soul Stone, or Immortal. I forget. Maybe Immortal. So there's no, that's the Eternal Soul Stone. Yeah, that's the big one. So it would be really nice to go up there and get it, but I don't think I can do that with just my Void Shards. I always do an expected return calculation. I did that with my Void Shards. I expect to land somewhere between these 2 tiers, so somewhere around 5,000 points. Now, remember, I will be fusing Lord Fabian. That's another 500 points, so that should get me to this chicken if everything goes according to plan. I have plenty of fragment champions in the portal. I could always go and start pulling those if I needed to, but I don't want to necessarily have to do that. I could save those for a PRCVC down the line, and I don't really need any of these champions here right now. So I have options. I do have options. I don't think the Champion Chase is bad value for me, but I don't need it in order to get the Fabian Fusion here on this account. So I'm just going to treat this like a 2 times Void Shard event for now, and then we're going to see what happens with the points, and if I need to do something else, I can do it. I also have these 2 Remnant Summons I've been holding onto, so I could pull those as well. Those are guaranteed epics, at least, so that's at least 500 points here. So if I do really poorly on my Void Shard pulls, I do have another 500 points here. And there's no 2 times on this ever, so the best way to double dip here with Remnant Summons is during a Champion Chase, which is what we're currently doing. So I also have these in reserve. So I'd probably do these before I did any Fragment Champions. So that's my thinking right now. Let me get these red dots out of the way. But that's my thinking right now for this event. And like I said, it's different for everybody, but we have to expect something that's going to cost us shards in terms of the next event. I highly suspect that after a 2 times everything weekend, there's going to be another shard event, maybe even back-to-back shard events. They like to do stuff like that just to get their spenders to buy back in. But yeah, as far as this account is concerned, my number 1 desired champion on this account for 2 years has been Yumiko. I want a Yumiko desperately. I need a reset champion. But there are a lot of good Void legendaries still out there. As far as the epics are concerned, anybody I can empower. Wouldn't mind getting a Gembo. I got a Gembo on my free-to-play challenge account, which is awesome. But I wouldn't mind a Gembo here because I'd like to empower my Gembo a little bit more. I think he's just +1. But otherwise, a new Void legendary would be the goal. So yeah, let's start pulling shards. We've got 4 10 pulls here, which I like. I like doing 10 pulls. I like round numbers. All right, let's start. Let's see. We need at least to keep pace with the points. Starting with an epic. That's nice. Bellower is always good. I've got tons of copies of Bellower. I've actually built 2 of them. Let's get another epic. Come on, let's get another epic. Nope. Okay. Just the 1 epic in Tulf the Maimed. I guess we could get the... Diana is cool. I need to build a Diana. I was going to say, I guess we could get the Fusion epic, which would be kind of interesting. That would allow me to keep a copy of her. Another copy of Whisper. I can definitely empower my Whisper. and my Madame Saris. That's awesome. All right, so that's good. That was 4 epics. That was a good 10 pull. So now we're on pace with the point totals. As long as we're hoping for at least 2 epics here. Or gold. Gold would be nice. It would be really nice to hit another Void Legendary. All right, there's 1 epic. Let's get another one. There we go. Slixus, another champion I need to build. Pretty cool. Former Fusion Epic, I believe. Weregrun. Not that interesting. Okay. Last 10 pull. I think we are on track for our point totals. Come on. Let's hit something. Another Madame Saris. I think she's going to be +3 now. Something else. Come on. One more. Give me something. Last one. All right. That was okay. I think we did okay there in terms of points. Let's go check our points. Champion chase. We actually overperformed slightly. Yeah, we actually ended up about 500 points over where I expected to be. So that's pretty good. Let's go grab these. I love those legendary tomes. So the question is, do we want to reach for this 7,500? And I think for now, at least, I don't have to go for this, but I think for now, at least, I know I'm going to get 500 more points from Lord Fabian when I fuse him. That'll bring me to 6,000. So yeah, let's do some Remnant summons and then maybe like a 10 pull or 2 10 pulls of Ancients. Let's do the Ancients first. Let's just see, because if we get a couple of epics here, that could make a big difference. Let's see an epic. We should get at least 1 epic. Don't blue tax me. You're going to blue tax me. Oh, we got an epic at the end. That's pretty good. And we'll do 1 more 10 pull. And I think then we'll do the Remnant summons and we'll be done. And we should be able to get that book. Come on, 1 more epic. 1 more epic. All right, still not too bad. So that should put us at what? That was about 6,300. $62.34. All right, we'll do our Remnant summons now. Be really nice to get a mythical. That'd be crazy. Regular epic. That's okay. 250 points. 1 more. Come on. Did we? Oh. Another epic. Balthus struggle. There's a little red glow there right at the beginning that made me think for a second that I hit. But that's just the Remnant summon opening. But that's another 500 points. 67. So I need 1 more 10 pull of Ancient Shards, and then that's it. And then we've got the legendary tome when we pull the fusion. Are you going to blue tax me? Nope. Okay. And that guaranteed it. All right. So pretty good. So I had to dip into the Ancient Shards, but I don't mind that. Still have well over 100 Ancient Shards. I don't think that'll be a problem to help me get the soul. And then, in the tournaments here, once we get the fusion, we'll land at 75, 74. That's beautiful. And yeah, it'll put us in 10th place. But again, there are 15 hours left here in the Champion Chase tournament, so we might get knocked out. But that's okay. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. All right, so nothing exciting this weekend in terms of shard pulls. My free-to-play account, my free-to-play challenge account, I pulled a whole lot of really good epics. No legendaries, but some really good epics. If you haven't checked out that video yet, you should go check it out. I posted that yesterday. And that's going to make for some difficult decisions for the last 2 weeks of the free-to-play challenge account, because obviously I'm also going to get Lord Fabian on that account, and I have to build him out. But the good news is I have some books over there. I do have some books waiting for at least 2 more 6 stars before the end of the challenge. We'll see where we end up. The slow roll still has us in the top 15, and that's pretty exciting. I don't know if we can crack the top 10. The competitors are pretty tough this year. But all right, that is it for me today. Let me know how your weekend went. I've already heard from some of you, but I want to hear from the rest of you. Let me know if you hit or missed, and if you did hit, who'd you get? All right, that is it for me today. Thanks so much for hanging out. I have been Cole Red. I will see you in another video soon.